Diving community who are working in tech and impacting tech with diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility as their guide. My name is Sharice Johnson. I'm the marketing director for Div Inc. And we are in the middle of our Meet the Founders series for our social impact accelerator that is coming to a close this December 7th at the Ion in Houston with our demo day. And today we have Brianna Brazle, who is the founder of CultureLancer, as another member of this amazing cohort. And I'm going to have Brianna do her introduction and talk a little bit about CultureLancer, and then we'll get into the conversation. Take it away, Brianna.
All right. My name is Brianna Brazle, as Sharice said. Thank you for that. I'm the founder and CEO of CultureLancer, and we're an HR tech platform that is working to help every college student graduate with at least 2 years of industry-based experience. We do that through our AI-powered career acceleration platform, where we connect them with small businesses to work on real projects, focus on data analytics. So simultaneously, we're also helping small businesses grow and make data-driven decisions toward their growth.
Absolutely. And it's funny, upon getting your application and learning more about the company, I remember thinking, this is the most, this is the problem I think almost everyone who's been an early an intern or entry level person has experienced. It's like the most ubiquitous problem that no one was trying or even thinking that they could solve. Because I think all of us have a horror story about trying to get that first job. But I would love to hear what exactly that CultureLancer does to solve that problem and solve the problem for students and recent grads, but also for companies.
Yeah, well, like you said, it is definitely one of those things that you kind of get on a hamster wheel where we have to follow this certain path or we're told about a certain path to follow. But then when it comes down to that path translating into our path to success, there are many hurdles that we. So what we want to do is one, there are two issues that we're solving. Primarily, we're definitely solving the problem for the recent graduate or the soon to be graduate, making sure that they're prepared and marketable when they go into industry, but also solving the issue for the businesses. So in particular for students, it's an interesting time, right? You're in self-discovery phase. Well, you're at the beginning of self-discovery because we know you don't discover yourself fully in college, but you're at the beginning of that phase, and it's I'm trying things out, or maybe you're afraid to try things out. So we want to make some of that easier for a student. This is your time to do it. You have 4 years, utilize every second, every hour, every minute of it to really understand where you want to go, or at least give yourself a clearer path forward. And it's okay if you don't know all the answers, because you're not going to. We don't expect you to, right? But we want to give you a space to explore and do it in a way that's meaningful. You shouldn't be exploring and it doesn't add to you. You should explore and it adds to whatever direction that you're going in some sort of way. So we give the space for you to do that by one, figuring out where's a good place to start. More than likely, you already have some skills, you have some talent, especially in 2023, where technology is rampant, and most of these students now have grown up in this technology age, and they know how to do things that I don't even know how to do. When it comes to YouTube and social media and all that, it's that turns into that's a transferable skill. But how do you even identify that as a skill, and how do you translate that into an interview? Hey, I've been making YouTube videos for 10 years since I was 13. That is a valuable skill. So how do we translate that? And how can we expand that, develop that into something that a company would use, right? So one, we want to understand where your baseline is and how can we grow from that baseline already. And does it relate to what your interests are? Does it relate to what your career goals are? So creating a platform that allows a student to do that, but also do it in a really meaningful and intentional way. And then equally on the business end. So, I'm an entrepreneur. I think at this point I can own serial entrepreneur, and we all need talent. We all need support to help us grow and move to different phases in our business. But one of the things is there's a lot of, especially for small businesses and solopreneurs, there's so much information out there that we don't know where to start.
Right.
And so we help businesses understand where's a good starting point, like
Mhm.
based on your goal, like strategically, where's a good starting point for you, and then doing it in a way that is project based, and tied to KPI. So data is important. It's
Yeah.
scary for a lot of people, but it's super important and pivotal to making the right decisions that are growth fueled and related. So we want to always stick to something that's data backed and data driven,
Right.
but developing strategic projects around that so that it aligns with wherever you're trying to get to in the next year, in the next 3 months. We want to align it to that, and then deploy the talent to do that.
Mhm. It's interesting. Once you explain it, I think everyone's like, "Oh, absolutely, completely get that." But I would love, but their next question may be, okay, but on the ground, what is it that a person, let's say I'm the owner of a company and I want to bring someone on. What is that experience like for the, I don't know, VP of operations at, I don't insert company here. I don't want to name a company and not be
Uh-huh.
something I should name, but and they genuinely want to bring on some new talent and they genuinely want to engage it with them, but they are meeting up with the same problems every other company is trying. Like, where do we put them? How do we manage them? How do we know that they have the right skill sets and all that? So, what is the we want to bring you on now? What's the step? What do they experience?
Yeah. So for one, I think it's important to level set, because our target with students are those who are currently enrolled in school. So level
Mhm.
set in terms of where do you see an individual like this fitting, right? Because we want to offer something a little bit more intensive than an internship, because
Right.
internships are great, but they also are not super reflective of what really happens in the world, right? So one, first is understanding like what are your immediate needs. So
Mhm.
and because we operate on projects, not necessarily internships, because projects can be extended, they can be short term, they can be very solution based, so it depends, right? So one, we want to understand what do you need. Is it that short term project where you just want to test out someone's skill to just kind of get a better understanding of, if I throw these things at them, can they catch them?
Right.
We're able to create opportunities like that, but maybe it's something a little bit more expansive, like you have a UX team and you don't have the funds to create a role for a UX researcher, right? We can facilitate, support, and provide talent to support that need, where
Mhm.
it's on a project basis. So you have a UX designer already doing some stuff, but you need someone to really do some research on the user, on the market, develop these personas. Then we can deploy a talent to fit that need, right? So it's case by case. It's difficult to really say, other than we want to know what the need is. We want to know what the need is, and designing projects around that need.
Absolutely. And I love the idea of it being project based because I know as someone who's brought on for classic internships or anything of that nature, there is the thought of, start and the finish, but then also what is the deliverable at the end and for the student, something to add that really supplements their portfolio and for the company, something that really returns on that investment. So I love
Mm-hmm.
that's included in that. What types of projects or types of skill sets that the students have? What are those kind of categories for those that are on the platform for the students that are on the platform?
Yeah, so before DivInc, we were a bit widespread. So we will kind of widespread. We satisfied needs in 4 areas. So business development, business operations, marketing, and data analytics. And so the skills varied, but they fell under those umbrellas. Um,
Yeah.
excuse me. But since being in DivInc, we've kind of zoned in on what our focus is. So we're going to be focusing right now over the next year at least is data analytics. So that looks like analysis, research methods, learning some software. So MySQL is something that students widely use, but it's also something that we found is different from what industry uses. So we're trying to upskill students to be adaptive regardless of the technology that they're on.
Yeah.
Statistical skills, again, something that we're shifting away from the type of software that they're learning that on. But then also soft skills. Soft skills is a huge thing that we don't want to forget because,
Mhm.
one, colleges pay a lot of attention and put a lot of resources towards soft skill development, and as well as industry. They recognize that emerging talent or early talent, this entry level space, that they lack these soft skills to be really adaptive in a workforce environment. So what we do is we cultivate soft skills development in that hard skill and obtaining those hard skills. So by creating these opportunities for students to engage continuously with employers, as well as with our staff, they're able to develop and hone in on these soft skills. And one thing that we're looking to add in the next year is how we can track soft skill development and how can we augment the development over time of particular skills. So if in the let me say engineering space, if collaborative work is an area of soft skill that they're finding that a lot of their talent has a deficit in, we want to highlight that early, and then help students develop that by creating strategic spaces for them to develop those, those collaborative skills that they need to be successful in industry.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on the point that y'all aren't kind of hands off when it comes to those students and the skill set that they have. Y'all are really playing a major role in their development, and especially as new skills become more and more needed by companies and more requested, that y'all are helping fill those education gaps for them so that they're the right people for the right time. So I love that
Mhm.
that's included in there. I'd love to right now skip to or shift gears to talking about your DivInc experience. And one of the big questions I always ask our founders is, what place were you in the I guess the life of CultureLancer, where you thought that an accelerator was the right time? It was the right time for an accelerator, and why was DivInc the one you went with?
Yeah. One, I think for me, so accelerators are, I still feel like I'm a baby when it comes to this world. Like I'm like 3 years fresh on this knowledge, like that even accelerators existed and all of those good things. But early on in my journey, how I even got the courage, I guess, to dive head first into this is through mentorship. And so mentors suggested like different paths for me to go on, and as a way of getting capital and getting the network, to expand my network. An accelerator is a quick way to do that, and then
Mhm.
beyond that, it's just it helps. I'm a learner by nature. Like I love to be in environments where there are opportunities for me to learn, but it has to be structured in a sense. And accelerators give me that opportunity to still learn in a structured way, structured in the terms of like here is a path forward, right? Because there, like I said, there's a lot of noise and it can get distracting and frustrating and confusing. But with an accelerator, it helps me to focus. Like, all right, like these are the things I need to work on. These are the people I can ask for. But with DivInc in particular, so I never heard about DivInc. I went through G Beta in
Mhm.
um, fall of last year. Fall of last year, I went to G Beta, and I think I was invited to like something at the Ion, and I met with. Okay, I don't want to say. I don't want to. I met with a young lady. I can't remember her name right now, so it
Right.
doesn't matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter. She's an alumni of DivInc,
Okay.
and we're talking a bit about like what she was building, and she was in the DivInc program, and she was talking about how great it was, and yeah, and I was like, okay, I'll look into it. And then it just so happened that the social impact accelerator applications came up like a month or two later, so I applied, and yeah, I fell in love with, after looking more into it, I fell in love with like the mission. And what I really like though is every I feel like every accelerator at this point, wherever the one that I looked into, they always talk about like they tailor the support, like we are gonna do it for you or whatever. But what I find is that a lot of them don't, that they have very cookie cutter um, curriculum,
Mhm.
and it misses the mark sometimes. So DivInc did not do that at all. Like you lived up to your promise of like, we're gonna meet you where you are and we're gonna help you grow from there. So I'm very grateful for this decision. I'm very grateful for the acceptance in general. Like I couldn't I'm lost for words, but I couldn't talk enough about like how great DivInc has been, and just I'm sad that we're ending. I'll just say that.
Well, I always remind you, though the program is ending, we're not done
Yeah.
with you, and you're not done with us. You
Oh,
move.
I know.
You
We
guys
we we in this thing together. But
um, as you've been going through the program, I'm wondering, were there any big aha moments, any big pivots, or any surprises as you've been progressing through the 12 weeks?
yeah, it's been a lot actually. I would say one, the focus on data analytics, that came out of this program. I didn't realize how many, like I didn't realize the position that we were in as a company already, until Amanda was like, you need to spend some time with your data again, right? You need to spend some time with your data, out where your numbers are, which I had an idea, but I didn't know the exact numbers. So like that was like a huge like eye opener, because I already had over 80 businesses signed up. We launched in February of this year, and the focus of the launch was really just to validate like our theory and our thesis behind what we were offering to the world. It wasn't really focused on revenue, which I know we can argue about whether that was a good or a bad thing, but we generated a little bit of revenue here or there, but it wasn't like our main focus. But organically we were able to sign up 80 customers, like our paying customer, and that's a commitment. And the conversation was, this isn't a free thing, so they fully are aware that this is a platform that costs. So we know that there's an opportunity for us to quickly tap into our market that we already have. And that was an
Yeah.
eye opener that I discovered during DivInc. And then um, definitely introduced to new staff, which has been great. I'm looking forward to the road ahead, the couple months ahead, because we have some big plans, and I'm excited about it.
Nice. Well, and one thing we'll talk about a little bit later, one particular big thing. But as we're building out our cohorts, you mentioned that the cohort experience for the founders is tailored, but we're very deliberate when it comes to the building of the cohort itself. As we are putting together those who we feel like um, aren't going to just come in and just learn, but also play an active role in teaching. and being a part of this building of this mini family of the cohort within the larger DivInc family. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about what experience you've had working alongside your fellow cohort members as you've been going through the program.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. We're for sure, I feel like a family. I feel like we have a good level of trust among each other where I'm not afraid to ask for feedback from the cohort members, and they always are asking me for feedback. And I think that just speaks to, like you said, you guys were intentional about who, not just the companies that were selected, but the person behind the company, and being mindful of like how they could potentially interact with one another, because this is more than the learning that happens during the accelerator. Like it is about like the connections that you make and the network that you're building, and that's and it's and more than just like the network and connection with mentors and advisors, but your founders, like your fellow founders. And I feel like for us, I don't know that this cohort has. I'm saying it like I've been in other different cohorts, but but our cohort, I do feel like we have a special connection with each other. Even though I'm the only one in Houston, everybody else is like spread out, and majority of people are in LA. But like I've already made like really close connections with a couple of people who we're talking about potential other ventures that we might want to look into together, and giving feedback on other things. It's just been really great, and how we can how like CultureLancer can help them, and how I want to support them as much as I can, and helping them expand and grow. And I feel like this was a special group. Like again, like I've been here before, but this but I do feel like a particular connection, and coming from like experiences with other groups of people, I feel like this has some legs to really continue to grow and develop even beyond demo day.
Yeah, yeah, and I would say professional growth as well as personal growth. Every single cohort we have the whole founder wellness piece that we include, and this time around we had belief coaching merged with branding and marketing as part of the workshops that we presented. So with that, now that we're kind of talking about that, I'd love to hear any kind of personal growth that you've had in as part of the accelerator, and maybe even just as part of your founder journey. Any big life lessons that you, I mean, and we'll have a lot of founders who are watching this live stream, and maybe some lessons learned that they can some pearls that you can drop that they can take with them.
Yeah, I think one, social impact, right? So social impact as a foundation of a company is different. And I'm gonna kind of I'll explain why in a second. But the week before week one of Div Inc., I was talking to somebody. I can't I forgot. I can't remember exactly, but what they said was we start businesses out of trauma, and that particularly relates to, like I say, social impact, because the point of social impact is we are committed and connected to the mission of whatever we're building, right? Because it has such a profound impact on society, and more than likely, we were directly impacted. Even if it was vicarious, like I saw something happen, and I was so connected to it empathetically that I want to solve this issue. But that in itself, you were traumatically affected, that it made such an imprint on your life that you're like, I need to do something about it. But the problem is, and this is what Div Inc. brought it full circle for me, is especially through like the belief sessions, is the problem is that you can fuel your you can fuel your journey with this traumatic imprint that happened, right? But you cannot make business decisions based off of that,
Mm.
because you are not your customer, number one, and that can hinder your growth, because you'll continue to feed this child, this wounded child on the inside, and that child is not developing. They're just staying satisfied because I'm fulfilling this need or this desire to do something. But is it translating to the environment? Is it translating? Is it reaching the people that you really want to reach, or is it just reaching that wounded child on the inside? So
Mm.
so that is something that, like, I feel like unintentionally, well, for me, I'll just talk about for me, has come up a lot in just the our time together, and during the different sessions, is how am I hindering my own growth, because I'm feeding that internal child, and I'm not doing what I need to do for the society at large. And so it's been great. It's been very reflective, but like I said, it's okay to start from those sad places, but you can't stay there. You just can't, because that's not. It will break your business at the end of the day. And I am legacy building. I'm not creating a business that's just fair weather. So
Whew. Well, all right. No, that's to be honest, I've never thought of it that way when it comes to social impact companies, those who have launched nonprofits, those who are coming from a place of, I want to see change. Their vision is more related to change within the greater world, so that this trauma does not happen to anyone else. And I
mhm.
never really framed it that way. That was well put. And yeah, yeah, wow. Okay. I'm gonna sit with that a little later. I won't but as we're coming to a close, I want to talk a little about demo day.
Yeah.
And I said a little earlier, demo day is how we close out our accelerator programs after the 12 weeks. There's a big showcase and a party afterwards. And this cohort will be closing out at the Ion in Midtown here in Houston on Thursday, December 7th. And I'm just wondering, how are you preparing? How are you getting ready in the lead up? And how you feeling?
I feel good. I mean, my nerves don't set in until like the 5 minutes before they call your name. So today I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm just preparing. So I'm really bad at like practicing off scripts. So I just decided to do away with the script. I'm just remembering, like, going through every day. I'm trying to twice a day go through my PowerPoint to
Yep.
just to make sure that I know, like, okay, I for sure need to cover these 2-3 things per slide, and so I'm gonna be good with that. Other than that, just inviting people that I know in the community to come out and support. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, my best way to be to
Anyway,
prepare is
get ready.
to
Please
surrender
stay
happen. I
ready.
mean, you can't change it.
Well, I mean, that's great. And I know that in the lead up, you have some big things happening already. I know the night of will be, talking about how people can get involved with you, whether they're an investor or community builder or ecosystem builder and all that. But already there's ways for people to get involved with CultureLancer and show their support for CultureLancer beyond just a follow or a friend or anything like that. What do you have going on right now that people can click into?
Yeah. So we launched a crowdfunding campaign with I Fund Women, and we're looking to support 20 small businesses. So those people who maybe can't afford services, we want to support 20 of them going into the new year to really, start a strong foundation for their business, and do it in a way that we can still support our students. So on our platform, every student is compensated for the work that they do. That's built into our plan. So if anything helps, you share it with your community, get the word out there. You can support us with $1. It doesn't matter, to just help us reach our goal. So our goal is to raise $7,000 by January 5th. And so there's a link. There was a link down at the bottom, and it's to our link tree. There you can find other other resources, like how to get in contact with me. You can schedule a meeting with me. I love to talk to people clearly. You could also find out about our website. You can follow us on socials. So all of that's down in that link tree link.
Yeah, and we'll include the link to the crowdfunding campaign and the link tree in the caption of this live stream, so that if y'all want to click through and get involved and give, you can immediately. So I think I'm still back at you talking about the trauma piece, but because that was just so good.
We can have a whole workshop on that. Okay.
I really I want to light a campfire and get blankets and hot cocoa and just dive deep into that, but we can't do it right now.
We can.
But eventually we will circle back on that. But thank you, Brianna. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and talking to us about your journey and sharing. I tell everyone I know you're super busy, and especially right now. So we just are so grateful that you sliced out some time to speak with us, and we're excited about Demo Day. And you should join us at Demo Day if you're in Houston. Again, it's at the Ion in Midtown on December 7th in the evening. And if you are not in Houston, you can join us at the live stream. We'll be streaming on all of our social media platforms, so you can follow us and get the alert when the live stream goes up on Thursday evening, and you can watch it there. Thank you again, Brianna, for joining. And thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.